Hi, I'm Teacher Liz. This is Quarter 2, Module 1 of Science 9, the quantum mechanical model of an atom. Module 1 addresses the following most essential learning competency, and that is to explain how the quantum mechanical model of the atom describes the energies and positions of the electrons. Sa module na to, meron tayong dalawang lesson. Una, electrons and energy levels. Second, electronic configuration. Talakayin muna natin ang Lesson 1, Electrons and Energy Levels. May tatlong objectives tayo sa lesson na to. Una, relate the colors of light emitted by metals to the structure of the atom. Pangalawa, compare the Bohr and quantum mechanical models of the atom. At pangatlo, identify the relationship among energy levels, sublevels, and atomic orbitals. Bago yan, sasagot muna tayo sa ating pretest. We have 5 statements patungkol sa ating lesson at sasagutin natin ito ng agree kung tayo ay sumasang-ayon or disagree kung tayo ay hindi sumasang-ayon. I-pause ang video for 10 seconds para maisulat nyo ang inyong sagot sa notebook. Okay, start na tayo. When an atom is heated, it begins to emit light. Pause. An electron can jump from lower energy level to a higher energy level when it absorbs energy. Pause. Bohr's planetary model is the most widely accepted modern model of the atom. Pause. It is impossible to determine both the position and momentum of the electron at the same time. Pause. And finally, electrons can't be found exactly, just a probability. Pause. Okay, keep your answers dahil babalikan natin ang mga ito near the end of this video lesson. Meanwhile, let's consider these questions as we go along the video lesson. Maaari nyo ring isulat ang mga questions na to sa inyong notebook at sagutan habang pinapanood ang ating video. Okay, so panoorin muna natin ang isang fireworks display. Napakagandang panoorin ng mga fireworks, no? Maganda dahil iba't ibang size, hugis, style, at kulay ang nakikita natin. Bakit nga ba iba't iba ang kulay ng mga fireworks? May orange, gold, green, yellow, at iba pa. Pare-pareho lang naman silang gawa sa pulbura. Ang tawag dito ay gunpowder, na siyang nagsisilbing fuel and it allows the fireworks to burn. Hinahaluan din ito ng metal salts. Ito actually ang nagpo-produce ng intense color kapag nasusunog. Pero paano nga ba nangyayari yon? When an atom is heated, it begins to emit light of a definite color. Narito ang list ng ilang metal salts, yung element na meron sila na nagbibigay ng kulay, at ang kulay ng kanilang flame. Kaya kapag pinainit natin ng sodium nitrate, yung sodium atom na component nito ay nag-i-emit ng yellow light. Kapag barium chloride naman, yung barium na element na meron nito ay nag-i-emit ng green. Ganon din sa iba pang mga examples ng metal salts. Narito ang actual flame test. Ayan, meron tayong parang rainbow of flames because of this. Kung i-analyze natin yung light emitted by these atoms, we let this light pass through a prism, makikita natin na ang spectrum nito ay discontinuous. Ibig sabihin, kulang-kulang siya or bungi-bungi, hindi katulad ng sunlight na continuous ang kanyang spectrum. Ang tawag sa spectrum ng light mula sa elements ay atomic emission spectrum. And atomic emission spectrum is unique for every element. Ibig sabihin, kung may iba't iba tayong elements, iba't iba rin ang kanilang atomic emission spectra. Gaya ng nakikita natin na atomic emission spectra ng ilang elements dito sa picture. Kumbaga, ito ang nagsisilbing fingerprint ng isang element. Pero ano ba ang connection ng colors of light emitted by the metals sa structure ng atom? Ito ang sinubukang sagutin ng isang Danish scientist na si Niels Bohr noong 1913. Using the atomic emission of hydrogen, sabi niya na ang bawat linya suggests an energy level of the atom. Nagpapahiwatig daw na may iba't ibang energy levels ang atom at ang energy levels na to ang siyang parang orbits of electrons as they go around the nucleus. Energy levels are also called orbits or shells. At sa bawat level, may karampatang energy na katumbas. Pinakamababa ang energy sa 1 na siyang pinakamalapit sa nucleus. At habang papataas o papalayo tayo sa nucleus, lumalakas ang energy associated with the energy level. Maihahalin tulad natin ang energy levels ng atoms sa hagdan na kapag ang goal natin ay step 1, konting energy lang ang kailangan natin para marating ito. Pero kung ang goal natin ay step 4, syempre, mas malaking energy ang kailangan natin para ma-reach ang step 4. Ibig sabihin, the higher we climb, the more energy we need. Now, this is the illustration of the Bohr's planetary model of the atom. Ang electron na to ay nasa energy level 2 or second energy level. Since nasa higher orbit siya, ito ang kanyang excited state. And as long as the electron stays in its given orbit, there is no absorption or emission of energy. Question: pwede bang mag-move yung electron sa higher or lower energy levels? Pwede ba siyang mag-jump sa ibang orbits? Answer is yes. It happens when electrons absorb or emit energy. If it releases energy in the form of light, it jumps to a lower energy level or ground state. Makikita natin sa encircled part ng ating figure na kapag nag-release ng energy yung electron, tumatalon siya papuntang lower energy level or tinatawag nating ground state. Pero kapag yung electron naman ay nag-receive or tumanggap ng extra energy, it can jump into a higher energy level and back to being in an excited state. Makikita natin sa encircled part ng ating figure, kapag tumanggap siya ng energy from the environment in the form of electricity or heat, tumatalon siya papuntang higher energy level or excited state. Okay, kaya lang ang ganitong model ni Bohr ay applicable lang sa mga atoms na may iisang electron gaya ng hydrogen. Kasi isipin nyo ha, kung dalawa ng electrons sila, paano ang kanilang repulsion sa isa't isa? Since sabi natin, 2 negative charges repel according to Coulomb's law. Ang limitasyon na ito ng Bohr's model is what the following scientists worked on to arrive at the quantum mechanical model of the atom, which is the most widely accepted atomic model today. We now go to our second question, and that is, what is the difference between Bohr's model and the quantum mechanical model of the atom? So scientists that came after Bohr began to look at the wave nature of the electron, based on the wave-particle duality of matter ni Bohr, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, and finally, the quantum mechanical model of Schrödinger. Iisa lang ang tinutumbok ng mga ito. Electrons do not have an exact orbit. Ayon kay French physicist Louis de Broglie, no one can predict the exact path of an electron as it moves around the nucleus. Walang makakahula o makakapredict ng eksaktong path ng electron. Sabi naman ng German physicist na si Werner Heisenberg sa kanyang uncertainty principle, since electrons have wave properties, imposible daw ma-determine ng sabay ang eksaktong position at eksaktong momentum ng electron. Maaaring matukoy natin ang kanyang position at a certain time, pero imposibleng matukoy kung saan ito papunta. On the other hand, posibleng matukoy kung saan ito papunta, pero hindi ang kanyang pinanggalingan. Kaya nga tinawag na uncertainty dahil we are uncertain or hindi tayo sigurado sa dalawang properties na ito ng electron. But There is one thing possible, sabi ni Erwin Schrödinger, isang Austrian-Irish physicist. Ayon sa kanyang quantum mechanical model of the atom, meron daw area around the nucleus kung saan posibleng matagpuan ang mga electrons. This is the region of space where electrons are likely to be found. It is called electron cloud, aka atomic orbital. The blue area is the electron cloud, and the darker it is, the more likely the electrons are there. Now we go to our question number 3. What is the relationship among energy levels, sublevels, and orbitals? Para ma-describe natin yan, kailangan nating gumamit ng quantum numbers which are used to describe the probable location of electrons in atoms. Una, yung principal energy level, aka shell. Ito yung tinutukoy na energy level doon sa Bohr's planetary model of the atom, where n is equal to 1, 2, 3, etc. It indicates the relative size and energy of atomic orbitals. And as n increases, orbital becomes larger and energy level increases. So makikita natin yung kanilang relative sizes in this figure. Sa table, makikita natin principal energy level 1 to 4 at nariyan ang kanilang relative sizes. Susunod naman is energy sublevel. Okay, so within energy levels, meron tayong tinatawag na sublevels. Okay, it contains the orbital and defines the orbital shape, which could be S, P, D, or F. Okay, so for example, sa unang energy level and n is equal to 1, we have 1 sublevel. Sa pangalawang energy level or n is equal to 2, meron tayong dalawang sublevel. Sa pangatlong energy level, meron tayong tatlong sublevels. At sa pang-apat na energy level, 4 din ang ating sublevels. Maihahalin tulad natin yan sa mga upuan sa isang teatro na habang papalayo tayo sa stage, mas marami ang available seats. Ito naman ang shape ng ating energy sublevels. Ang S ay spherical, ang P ay parang dumbbell, ang D ay parang 4-petal flower, at ang F naman ay parang 6-petal flower. Sa pagpapatuloy ng ating table, nailagay na natin yung sublevels corresponding to the principal energy level. Okay, pangatlong quantum number is orbital. Sa bawat sublevel naman, merong different number of orbitals. So, for example, sa sublevel S, meron tayong isang orbital lamang. Sa sublevel P, meron tayong 3 orbital. Sa sublevel D, 5 orbital. At sa sublevel F, meron tayong 7 orbital. Okay, ano ba ang orbital? The orbital holds only 2 electrons according to Pauli exclusion principle. Dito matatagpuan or maaaring matagpuan yung mga electrons. Okay, narito ang pictorial representation ng ating table. So, kanina hanggang sublevel lang tayo. Ngayon, dinagdagan na natin ng column 4, number of orbitals. So, sa shell 1 or sa energy level 1, nakikita natin meron tayong isang sublevel at meron tayong isang orbital represented by the square. Okay? Sa shell 2, meron tayong dalawang sublevel S and P. At sa S, meron tayong isang square na sumisimbolo ng orbital. Samantalang sa P, meron tayong 3 magkakadikit na square na siyang orbital. Next, sa shell 3, ang sublevel natin ay 3. We have S, P, and D. Okay? Nakikita nating squares dyan. Yan ang ating number of orbitals. For S, meron tayong isang orbital. For P, may 3. At for D, meron tayong 5. Finally, sa shell number 4, 4 ang ating sublevel, S, P, D, and F. So, bawat sublevel, meron niyang number of orbitals. For S, isang square. For P, 3 square na magkakadikit. For D, meron tayong 5. And for F, meron tayong 7 orbitals. Now we have our column for the number of electrons per orbital. So for example, sa principal energy level 1, dahil may isa tayong orbital, 2 ang ating electrons. Sa principal energy level 2 naman, dahil meron tayong isang orbital for S at 3 orbital sa P, ang number of electrons per orbital natin ay 2 at 6. Sa principal energy level 3 naman, meron tayong number of orbitals na 1, 3, and 5. So per orbital, maglalagay tayo ng 2 electrons, 2, 6, and 10. Finally, sa principal energy level 4, meron tayong 4 na sublevel at bawat sublevel, ang kanilang number of orbitals ay 1, 3, 5, and 7. So, lalagyan natin sa ng electrons na 2, 6, 10, and 14. Okay. So, ang total number of electrons per energy level ay i-add lang natin yung mga numbers sa column 4 to arrive at the total number of electrons per energy level. Okay, finally, we have the electron spin. So, electrons act like they are spinning on an axis and generate a magnetic field. Kasi 'di ba, as they spin, they generate a magnetic field. Pero dapat opposite ang kanilang spin at yung isa counterclockwise and the other is clockwise para sila ay mag-cause ng attractive force at makapag-stay sila sa isang orbital. So, no two electrons in the same orbital can have the same spin. So, for example, the electron in the left has counterclockwise direction, or it spins in the counterclockwise direction, while the electron on the right spins at the clockwise direction. Okay, so i-plot natin yung ating table into the pictorial representation of the arrangement of electrons. Para i-represent ang electrons, gagamit tayo ng arrow up and arrow down para sa clockwise and counterclockwise spin nito. So for shell 1 or energy level 1, we have 2 electrons, so 2 arrows, 1 up and 1 down. For shell number 2, we have 8 electrons. At since meron tayong dalawang sublevels, S and P, and S has 1 orbital while P has 3 orbitals, so let's put some electrons. Okay, for P, note na sa shell 2 at sa sublevel P, inuna muna nating i-fill in lahat ng orbital ng sublevel P bago tayo naglagay ng kanilang kapares. Ito ay para sa stability ng atom. Okay, let's go to shell 3 or principal energy level 3. We have 18 electrons na kailangang i-plot sa tatlong sublevels S, P, and D. Mapapansin nyo sa D, 5 na ang kanyang orbitals or squares. So that's 2 for sublevel S. That's 6, another 6 for sublevel P. And then, okay, mapapansin nyo kung ano yung ginawa natin sa sublevel P, ganun din ang ginawa natin sa sublevel D na inuna muna nating i-fill in lahat ng orbital ng D before we go back to the first orbital again for the opposite spin. Finally, for energy level number 4 or shell 4, we have 4 sublevels S, P, D, F at bawat sublevel meron siyang karampatang orbital represented by the squares. So, 32 electrons ang kailangan nating i-plot. Let's go. For S, 2 electrons. For P, we have 6 electrons. For D, 10. And the 14 electrons we will put in the orbitals of sublevel F. Okay, gaya ng ginawa natin kanina for P and D, Inuna muna nating i-fill in lahat ng orbital ng sublevel F bago tayo bumalik ulit sa unang orbital para lagyan naman ng kanilang kapares. We now have the arrangement of electrons from shell 1 to shell 4. And that is all about quantum numbers, principal energy level, sublevel, orbital, and electron spin. Now here's a question for your reflection log. What is the difference between Bohr's planetary model and quantum mechanical model of the atom? Take a 3-minute pause. Okay, for your post-test, this is a 10-item table completion test. You complete the table below. So write this table in your notebooks at sagutan ang mga numbered items na yan. Let's revisit the pre-test a while ago. Tingnan natin ano ba ang mga tamang kasagutan. Okay, up next is Lesson 2, Electronic Configuration. See you po sa ating next video. Thank you and paalam!